Well, guess what, buddy? You're getting the best day of your life. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the bakery. And today we have a very incredibly special video. As you may have assumed from the title, we are going to be competing in our first ever collaboration. So in today's challenge, we're going to be competing against the fantastic Burd. You can find him in the corner, down below, and at the end of the video. We're going to be trying to be creating a build during New Game and forcing the other person to complete New Game Plus with the build we made for them. So he doesn't know this at the time of my recording, but I've got a little treat for him. Now you may be wondering what build we'll be creating for him. In my infinite generosity and wisdom, I've decided we will be making Burd run New Game Plus with, drumroll please, shields only. So now that you've learned this, we're going to be running through how I built this for him fast. For the New Game run, all we needed to focus on was building the character and finishing the game. So we started with the Knight, as the Tower Kite shield has the highest damage out of all the starting classes. We grabbed the Master Key and headed on out. Down goes Asylum Demon, got poisoned by the same rat as my Broken Straight Sword challenge. We went to the Catacombs incredibly early and died. In an incredibly slow process, we eliminated Taurus. We grabbed a weapon upgrade, found the Grass Crest shield, and we freed Lautrec and grabbed the Fap Ring before killing the Belfry Gargoyles. After that, we rung Bell 1, killed Quelaag, rang Bell 2, grabbed a Bone Wheel shield, we went to Sens, then Anorlando. We fought Holland Oates, finished upgrading to plus 10, which is the upgrade limit we set. Then we got Lord Souls 1, 2, 3, and 4, then Gwyn. Now that that's over, as Mitten Squad would say, this is where the real game begins. Before we load up his save, I would first like to tell you guys, don't worry if you wanted to see the shield half of my challenge in its entirety. I am planning on redoing the challenge for a full video to itself and killing every boss. Alright. Oh man. 6 months later, and I still feel bad about sending that man into hell comparatively. I actually didn't recognize what this save was supposed to be at first, although with some aid from my friend Cairo, we quickly realized it's supposed to be the Elon Musk Elden Ring build. Well played, Burd, well played. Burd told me to put 2 more levels into strength and change this out for the Black Knight shield, otherwise we're allowed to swap armor for fashion as long as we stay in a heavy roll. So we talked to Oscar, eliminate the Asylum Demon, then head to Firelink. Now, I have the hindsight to tell you that this challenge wasn't so bad for the most part, compared to what I left him with, but the bad parts of my run were bad. Anyway, we landed in Firelink, added those 2 points to strength, and swapped to the Black Knight shield. Afterward, I spent a little while getting some of that fashion out of the armor I was provided, before finally making our way to the undead Burd. Berg. We're pretty much just speedrunning the game by this point, considering we already have a complete build and such, so. After meandering our way through the Berg, we got to the Tower of Donkey Kong and brought down the Taurus Demon. It was about as easy as you would have expected it to be. Now this, back then, 6 months ago, was about the time Cairo and I realized that this is supposed to be Elon Musk's Elden Ring build. Well played, Bert. Wait, I already said that in the updated script earlier. You did make my noggin tinkering there. Anyway, we did the use, running past the Hellkite Drake, opening the gate shortcut to the rest of the castle, and dropping the Undead Church elevator down to Firelink. After we sliced through all these guys like hot butter, we fought the gargoyles as you do. We died on our first attempt, but it must have been a fluke because they're dead now, and we're bestowed a bell to ring. I also want to say, updating the script to sound more like my modern ones, 6 months ago, my scripts were horrible. Jesus Christ. Every minute of this challenge, I felt worse and worse about what I gave him. I'm so sorry, Burd. Please don't hate me. Here's Andre. He sells the crest of Artorias Doohickey, so we open the Artorias door thingamabob and eliminate Sif. I mean, why not? We had the money and currently have the ability. I feel so powerful. Alright, maybe not. Oh, never mind, it's back. With Sif out of the way, albeit prematurely, it's time to head underground. Shortcut open and into Blighttown, where after slipping it in the back door, again, we move down everyone's favorite water wheel and light the sewer bonfire. Quelaag time and, oh, look, spells. Please let me motorboat. Melted. Bell rung. Down we go to her sister, where we show this old man the amount of patience we have as the new generation. Then we make it out to Mr. Bodily Fluid. Run, you fool, run! Down he goes, literally. I feel now is a good time to talk about what the real difficulty of this build is, the equip load. I'm sure you've noticed this run hasn't been too challenging so far, but there is still a little bit of difficulty in our tryings. It comes from the equip load, and how it makes our stamina regen hell and our rolls not even worth using. Let me just say, though I haven't mentioned it, I had been feeling it that entire time. Man, it's really weird narrating this as an actual past tense thing. I know I usually do the voiceover like the next morning after I recorded, but I still typically narrate them as if it was present tense, so this is kind of weird. As we make it to the surface, this is where Burd sent me this message. Burd, I want to let you know vocally this made me feel terrible. You've given me a pat on the head and a Spider-Man popsicle. Meanwhile, I sent you into the deepest part of Satan's armpit. When we made it into Sens, we're already at the top. Well, we make our way out to Iron Golem, doing some crazy damage, before finishing him off with some ankle bites, getting to touch his golden hole and making it to Anor Londo. The rafters. Every Dark Souls player's favorite part. At least we didn't fall. Alright. Anyway, we turn a big elevator, get this Silver Knight to meet the ground at Mach 10, perform the stair skip, and open the way to oppression and sadness. Wow, they do a lot of damage. I actually also had to switch to using my mouse and keyboard at this point because my controller was having serious stick drift problems and I ordered a toolkit. Problem is, I've never played a Souls game on mouse and keyboard, so this just added another level of challenge for the run. Another level that after one attempt I did not want to put up with, so I quickly reverted this decision and decided just to deal with the drift. Our wait made even just getting to the fight harder than it needed to be. Oh. Anyway, after the better part of a day's worth of attempts, we finally popped the big golden balloon and received a Lord Vessel from Miss Milkbags over here. Before we do anything else with this though, we need to fight Lautrec and his gooners because somehow he escaped and killed Anastasia. After that, we placed the Lord Vessel. Man, our stamina regen, or I suppose lack thereof, really made itself known during ONS. I sure hope nothing bad happens later. Golden Gates be gone, your hero has arrived. I know Burd left you with much to be desired, but the great man cakes is here. Up to the archives, clank, clank, clank. Crystal men hit like a tank, lots of magic all around. Mandatory death gives me a frown. Ho ho ho, Squidward's nose. Ho ho ho, descend those rows. Out in the field with 0 lakes, down through the cave goes good man cakes. Hiya Seath, how are you feeling to 2 clans? Well, this is a long process. Plenty of time to talk, I guess. First off, subscribe if you aren't already. Maybe even join the membership, maybe, kind of, if you want to see uncensored challenges and get early access to new videos. Do you guys like movies? My favorite movie of all time is called Prisoners. You should definitely check it out. Leave me movie suggestions in the comments, please. I've been looking for something to watch, and I want some good ones. Here we are in the demon ruins, showing a Capra demon what we're gonna do to his optional brother before dying to Demon Fire Sage, because I found out too late in the fight how easily he bleeds and that we should have been doing melee combat. Elevator up. Hello, Quelaag's sister. I didn't think ahead and get the humanity we need for the Lost Izalith shortcut, and now we need to deal with our mistakes. One of those being that we're immediately thrust into another fight. You know, I don't know what it is about this fight, but for some reason it really bugs me. Get it? Oh, I hate fighting Centipede Demon in a heavy roll. Orange Charred Ring acquired and lava traversed. Hi, Bed of Chaos. That's fine. Hello again. Well, good thing you don't reset. That's what you get, bitch. Since we've already shredded Sif, let's just head to the Four Kings now before we go through the catacombs. You know, I had a song here about exploring New Londo, and it was set to Deck the Halls, but I've since forgotten the flow of the lyrics, and they're too complex for me to figure out what it is, so instead you get me explaining what the song was as we speedrun New Londo and drain it and stuff, and get to the stairs to Four Kings. Can you tell this script was made around Christmas time? time. Ooh, okay, mind changed. Catacombs, here we come. After running through the catacombs and avoiding all these dog treats, what did I even mean by that? Oh, skeletons, I get it. We simply dropped in on Vamos. Now we have what I think might be the most difficult part of the catacombs run, the bone wheel section. Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. A little chocolate starfish clenching, but it was okay. Pinwheel! Oh, Pinwheel. Well, here we are in the Tomb of the Giants. All we have left, as far as the minimum expected boss count, is 2 main game bosses left. Nito, who we're on our way to now, and Four Loko themselves, who we already tried once, and you saw how that panned out. Despite also being a gank, I'm really hoping Nito is easier. First, we fall off this ledge though, as is tradition. After that, we navigated to the second bonfire, in complete darkness by the way, because the Skull Lantern wasn't part of the build I was given. I can only imagine it's payback for the hell I put him in. By this point, I don't even know where he's at. He could be done with the challenge for all I know. Okay, that's not entirely accurate. At the point of me recording this script right now, because you know it's a whole 6 months later and I know the whole situation, I knew that he wasn't even close to completing the game at that point, but back then I didn't know, so you know how it works. Anyway, we dash for the light and finally make it onto the path to Nito. This... Whew, okay, I'm gonna read this... I'm gonna read the script as I wrote it here, because I'll get into it. This was kind of a tough fight. So tough, in fact, that this happened. No, really though, this fight was a roadblock for a while. I don't really know why. Like, I wrote this part of the script during the fight, like, during the first few attempts, and there wasn't really anything even difficult about it, so I don't know why it was so hard. Let's see what post-fight Mancakes has to say. Oh, okay. What the hell was all that about? Why the hell was it so hard? It took days. Days! Why? On top of that, by that point, my controller had begun to have serious stick problems. So I, along with the rest of the fight, continued the rest of the challenge with that. Seriously though, why was that fight so much harder than all the other ones? Hopefully that isn't foreshadowing anything. Duh. Okay. Anyway, after finally taking down Nito, all we have left before taking on the optional content is the Four Kings. Oh, and I forgot to equip the Covenant of Artorias. God. Now, the Four Kings fight was very reliant on good RNG. Their grab and AoE were consistently one-shotting us. So we were trying really hard to keep those things from happening. Even just their regular sword attacks did insane damage to us. I mean, look at that. With heavy armor and while the hilt of the sword hit us, holy crap. So, this script was written before I started doing the animal cookies segments. So I'll just throw one in here. Do you recall what bird takes you to the undead asylum in this game? That's right, a crow. Speaking of crows, did you know crows are actually accountable for more than 100 annual power outages because they steal cables for their nests? How else would they hook up their 80-inch OLED flat screens? Additionally, it's very well known that crows are superbly intelligent animals, but did you know they are so intelligent, they actually have a fully formed base consciousness? That means they are self-aware and understand how to perform critical thinking, leading to their resourcefulness and puzzle-solving ability, as well as understanding abstract concepts such as the idea of zero, which is very rare to find. It's also pretty well known that crows have great memory and aren't afraid to hold grudges toward people and animals alike, but they actually pass their grudges down to their kin as well, which is really funny. Finally, crows are some of the only animals we've ever witnessed creating and utilizing tools. And not only that, but they demonstrate their intelligence by even taking it a step further and assessing the tools that didn't work to improve upon the design of future tools. Which is just absolutely crazy that a freaking bird does all this, but I can barely create stupid videos on the internet. All in all, crows are super interesting, and while they may not be endangered, plenty of other animals are. So if you'd like to help keep other incredible creatures around, please visit the World Wildlife Fund and donate to animal conservation efforts today. Hey guys, this is Mancakes. Obviously, this is still the recording of the voiceover 6 months later, but the excerpt I'm reading from the script is from 3 weeks after I had started fighting Four Kings. I took a much longer break than I meant to, but Four Kings was really pissing me off. They felt impossible, so I was back for exactly one attempt. Hooray. Once again, this is still obviously 6 months later voiceover, man cakes, but this excerpt is from 4 months later. We were still stuck as ever, but this time I was actually playing alongside Burd. You can't hear him, obviously, because I record my voiceovers post-gameplay, but just know he's watching alongside you in spirit. Alright, and here we are now in the current age, a whole 6 months later, where Burd and I have decided it's time to call it quits. It's just not getting done. Not saying I won or anything, but I did get further than him. No, but seriously, this was way harder than either of us were expecting it to be, and we're ready just to finish it up and release it. Hence why you're seeing this video now. So, we could not beat Dark Souls New Game Plus with the other person's build selections. This challenge was decently easy throughout the whole game, then BAM! Nito and 4 Kings decided to show me what all 19 inches of Gwyn's wrath felt like over the course of almost 5 months. Closest I ever got to killing the 4 Kings was down to a quarter of their health bar, but with this build, it's just not happening. While I did enjoy this collaboration a lot, Burd and I have already agreed to put more effort into an easier, more fun collab in the future. So stick around to the Man Cakes channel if you want to see that. Other than that, that's about all I have for you guys today. Make sure you visit the World Wildlife Fund if you'd like to donate to animal preservation efforts. Please subscribe, and as always, have a fantastic day.